From the other side of the Footlights, here is WHRO FM critic M.D. Ridge.
At the opening of the Bruce Monroe Light at Hermitage show at the Hermitage Museum and Gardens October 12th, the Tidewater Classical Guitar Orchestra was playing on the flagstone patio overlooking the river. Darkness fell as I wandered around looking at Monroe's light installations. Field of Light was, in the British artist's words, a landscape of illuminated stems, a personal symbol of the good things in life. Hundreds and hundreds of small globes on slender rods, each glowing softly with fiber optics and changing colors seemingly at random, they filled the circular scape in front of the museum and much of the area south of it by the river's edge. I'll bet it looks spectacular from the water, and the lights across the river from the marine terminals seem to be part of the show too. Waves, a series of tall glass rods set up on the rail of the boardwalk over the tidal grasses, flashed on and off in random patterns of gold, blue, green, orange, magenta, and turquoise. The 17 water towers were built of 252 stacked water bottles illuminated with fiber optics, again in changing colors with the accompaniment of music from speakers hidden in the tower base. I heard deep, soft vocal African chants changing to high, ethereal women's voices before I moved out of earshot, so the vocal colors, too, were changing. For Parliament of Owls, the name comes from the collective term for a group of owls. Pairs of round, glowing yellow discs were set on a tall pole with several horizontal arms. In the dark, the supporting framework was nearly invisible, so the discs really did look like owls' eyes. There was a noisy racket from the river, the local Canada geese settling down for the evening. Deeper in the woods were small groups of Monroe's fireflies, sprays of fiber optics lighted at the tips to look like thousands of fireflies caught in the dark stillness. Lighthouse is a 6-meter-tall installation, a circle of clear, lighted glass rods that flash a Morse code message toward the river, meant not as a warning to keep away, but as an invitation to enter. There were 3 Monroe works inside the Hermitage itself, but I didn't want to miss the TCGO, which was ready to perform again as the sun sank out of sight. Sam Dorsey, the group's director, noted that Millennium Facing East was their second commission from the award-winning guitarist and composer Andrew York. It began with rippling, ascending arpeggios, then into wonderful rhythmic hemiolas with a Spanish feel, and surprisingly, a wordless vocal line over the top sung by the guitarists themselves. Requinto guitars, think soprano voices, and Bajas, bass voices, asked musical questions with strong melodic lines before segueing into the Spanish rhythms again, with soft aha vocals and a hypnotic descending melody with perhaps a Middle Eastern influence. I could have listened to it again and again. Another York piece, The Lotus Eaters, had a hypnotic bass line that repeated a 1-3-4-5 progression before fading to silence. Dan Cudney's Rana el Arbol was about a tree frog with lots of enemies, but he gets away. The pretty ballad Julia was written by TCGO member John Bowles in honor of his daughter. A slow tune by Argentine composer Cacho Tirao was followed by another delightful Bowles piece called Jerryology. He explained his wife's name is Jerry, and ology means study of, so study of Jerry. The TCGO finished up with a rousing version of Bernstein's America from West Side Story. At the earlier set, the group had done The Suite from West Side Story. The spectators applauded vigorously. One called out, "We couldn't do a standing ovation, we're already standing." It was the perfect accompaniment to a calm, cool night by the river, surrounded by magic lights. The show, Bruce Monroe Light at the Hermitage, continues through January 10th, 2015. Though there are ankle-height motion detector lights around the various paths, it's still really dark. Bring a good flashlight. From the other side of the Footlights, I'm M.D. Ridge.
For information about Bruce Monroe Light at the Hermitage Museum and Gardens, go to lightatthehermitage.com.